And herbs. How about herb crusted chicken? Now we're talking. I'm getting hungry. So we all know herbs and chickens pair well together, but today we're going to talk about herbs and chickens, but not putting them together in chicken recipes, but rather what herbs to include in your chicken's diet. Unfortunately, because I'm starving. Today, the guys have 7 of the best. Before we jump into herbs, we want to give a shout out to one of our awesome viewers who left a great tip in the comments in one of our recent videos discussing chicken boredom busters. And I love this name, Calm Cowbell. They mentioned that making a suet treat for their chickens using a combination of lard or tallow with some peanut butter and scratch grains. They spread it on a tray, let it harden, then they break off and feed pieces to their chickens. So I wanted to get your guys' opinions on doing something like that. Are suets a good choice?
Absolutely. In moderation, right? So homemade suets can be a treat that's both high in fat and protein. As such, they make an excellent supplement, a fantastic boredom buster, and can help support those chickens during times such as molting.
Yeah, and because they are high in fat, they should be a treat only and not a regular part of the diet. But as an occasional treat, it's a great choice. One note, you can make your own and stay away from those wild bird suets that you see in the stores. They're not the best for them.
They're often loaded with preservatives and other things that aren't really great for your chickens. Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm not a chicken, because every time it's like, 10% of your diet can be snacks, and I'm probably about 80%, so I'd starve. Okay, so why don't you guys tell me, how do you actually make your own?
Okay, so it's really easy. So you're going to choose your dry ingredients, whatever you have available. Things like scratch grains, oatmeal, cracked corn, those things are popular. To boost the protein, you can include things like unsalted nuts or mealworms. And then a lot of times we'll add in things like some dried fruit, like apples or raisins or cranberries, to add just a little extra sweet treat in there.
Yeah, just mix the items together in a bowl, then melt your fat. Beef tallow or lard are popular options. And as Calm Cowbell mentioned, adding unsalted peanut butter ups both the flavor and the protein. So once the fat is melted, pour it over the dry ingredients and stir to coat everything together. Then just press it into a mold like a cake pan, a cookie sheet, or muffin tins, and chill until it's hard. You can feed them as needed, store extra in the fridge or freezer until you're going to use them.
I was going to say, how long will this last?
That's a good question.
In the freezer for quite a while. I wouldn't keep it in the fridge for too long, but just get through it.
Okay. Sounds easy enough. Yep. Any more ideas?
Really, the sky's the limit. We talked about some of the ingredients, but for example, in today's video, we're going to talk about some awesome herbs. Those can also be included in the suet to add those benefits to that as well.
That's right. Just experiment and see what works for you and for your chickens. As for an idea of ratios, we got a recipe here, a sample recipe that you could use. So we're talking about 1 cup of rendered animal fat, a half a cup of unsalted peanut butter, a cup of scratch grains, a cup of black oil sunflower seeds, a cup of dried fruit, your choice, raisins, cranberries, whatever, about a half a teaspoon of cayenne, half a teaspoon of oregano flakes, half a teaspoon of dried thyme, 2 tablespoons of brewer's yeast, and a half a cup of grubs or mealworms or black soldier fly larvae, something like that. And some people like to add a binder to it, maybe a little flour or cornstarch. So just experiment and see what works for you.
Well, amazingly, once again, I learned something new, so thanks for that.
Yeah.
And also, thank you, Calm Cowbell, love the name, for the awesome comment. If any of you have recipes that you'd like to use for chicken suet, drop them in the comments. Also, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. We'd love to see them. All right, let's move on to the main event here. Herbs for chickens. So, talk to me first about why do we need to feed herbs to chickens, or why would we want to feed herbs to chickens?
Simply because they're good for them, right? So for millennia, humans, right, we've used herbs to flavor our food and to improve our health. Many herbs contain substances or phytochemicals that support amazing health benefits, and they apply to chickens as well. It all starts with nutrition, vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, beyond nutrition, herbs can contain lots of different compounds that can be good for chickens' bodies. You've no doubt heard the term, there's an app for that. Well, whether it's the immune system, respiratory system, cardiovascular system, reproductive system, there's an herb for that, right? And there's dozens of options. Today we're going to just talk about 7. We managed to whittle our list down to 7, which was pretty hard. Just because we don't mention a particular herb today doesn't mean it's not great for chickens. But we focused on herbs that are familiar, easy to grow, readily available, and safe.
Right. Now, before we jump in, our disclaimer, right? Just like most things we talk about for chickens, herbs should be fed in moderation.
Yeah.
Right? They're not the bulk of the diet. They're part of the diet, but not most of it.
Just something you add to it. Yeah.
So, but here are 7 great options to get you started.
So have these all been approved by the FDA? Is that what you get on the commercials? This has not been approved by the...
Herbs fall outside of that usually.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
But
start the list.
these are all familiar herbs that people have heard of and are considered.
And might even have in their shelf in their,
I'll bet you
kitchen.
most of them. There's a couple they probably don't because they're not normal. But
All right, well, there's only one way to find out.
yep,
What's
let's
the first one?
Jump in.
Well, at the top of the list is going to be oregano. It's known for its antibacterial and antiparasitic properties. It's chock full of vitamins, calcium, antioxidants, and it supports a healthy immune system, respiratory system, and reproductive system. It's now even popular among commercial chicken breeders. And that's because studies have shown oregano outperforms chemicals and antibiotics to help support healthy chickens. Just mix it in with your chicken feed daily, fresh or dried. And this is a perennial plant, so if you're going to grow your own, once you plant it, it's going to come back year after year.
Yep. And another option that's very similar is going to be thyme, right? Like oregano, it's also going to be antiparasitic, antibacterial. Additionally, it's got omega-3 acids in it, which are going to help support those chickens, helps with the respiratory system, relieves infection. It's also rich in vitamins A, C, B6, as well as fiber, iron, riboflavin, manganese, and calcium. And again, you can feed that fresh or dried in their feed. You can plant it and they'll just graze it themselves if it's out in the garden. And one more advantage to thyme, it's very aromatic. And guess who doesn't like it? A lot of bugs and pests.
Exactly.
So that can help keep those at bay as well.
So if you have it in your lawn, how hard is it to keep it growing? Pretty easy?
Thyme's pretty easy. It's low growing, kind of forms a mat, so it takes a little bit of traffic, so it'll be just fine.
All right. So I think we're off to a good start with those 2 options. What's next?
Next is calendula. Well, many people believe that any marigold is calendula. Yeah, that's not exactly the case, right? Make sure you're adding Calendula officinalis to your feed when using calendula. It has anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antioxidant properties, and it's going to help the digestive tract. It's packed full of omega-3s, vitamins E, K, and the B complex. And this all means that your egg yolks are going to come out that deep, rich orange flavor and color. It's going to be full of nutrients and omega-3s for your own body. It's often interplanted in gardens to help repel pests, and it can be used in the same way in your coop as well. Put it in the nest boxes or hang it in the coop, or you can just add it to their feed. So it's going to help out in lots of different ways.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Next up, we have echinacea. So many are familiar with the immune boosting power of echinacea, and it works just the same in chickens, right? It's good for the respiratory system, and it also treats fungal growth. It's also a natural antibiotic. You can use the whole plant, right? The lems are a combination of the leaves and the stems.
Okay.
So if you feed the lems,
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, the flowers, the roots, any of it, you can do it fresh or dried. You can, a lot of times I'll just pop off the heads and toss them in there, let the chickens have at them. You can also dry it and then make a tea, add it to their water, all sorts of those things.
Okay, so far so good. Anything else?
Well, the next familiar, safe, and effective herb for your chickens is going to be mint. It's another highly aromatic herb, so it's often planted around or hung in the coop to deter rodents and pests. Even flies tend to avoid mint, so that's a good thing. Dried mint can be added to their nesting boxes or dust bath areas, and it could be calming for the chickens. It can help lower body temperature in the summer. So you can just float a few crushed mint leaves in the chicken waterer. It's super easy to grow if you want to grow it on your own. So easy to grow that it's actually invasive and it will spread everywhere. So if you don't want it to spread all over the place, maybe try just planting the mint in a pot.
Yeah, not a bad plan.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it's calming and that kind of things, which goes along with our next herb that we've got on the list, and that's lavender, right? Lavender smells lovely to us. It also smells lovely to chickens.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a popular herb for kind of calming and peace. We love the smell of it, but guess who doesn't? Once again, bugs, right? Yep. They really don't care for it. And so lavender can help to repel pests. So you can hang dried lavender in the coop or add a little bit into the dust bathing area. That's a fantastic way to act as a natural stress reliever for the chickens. As part of their diet when they eat it, it's also beneficial to their circulatory system. And lavender's another one of those plants that it's a perennial. I plant it once and it just gets bigger and better every year.
Yeah, you can give them lavender. And it's like their own little spot treatment.
Exactly. Right? Yep.
Yeah. And then I know you guys watch a lot of Hallmark, so they put lavender in everything, cooking wise. So hey, lavender, that's where it's at.
You betcha.
It is popular for cooking nowadays.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's only 6, and you guys promised 7.
Okay.
So what's the final herb on the list?
Well, the last one is going to be comfrey. It's sometimes given a bad rap, but comfrey is a wonderful herb with a long history of medicinal use. It's often limited to external use in humans. It contains allotonin, which is a compound with regenerative properties. It has high levels of vitamins A and B12 and is exceptionally good at mining trace minerals and elements from the soil because of the long taproot that it extends down. It's high in protein and low in fiber, which means chickens and most other farm animals absolutely love it. It's pretty easy for them to digest, right, and get the nutrients from it. It's best offered as a nutritious treat. Again, beware of where you plant it. It develops that deep taproot, like I mentioned, which makes it nearly impossible to eradicate if you're trying to get rid of the stuff.
Yeah, I've heard some people have success, but I've never been able to get rid of it anywhere I've planted it. So, which is fine because comfrey's great. So that's 7, right?
Yeah,
as we mentioned, there's plenty more, but those 7 will give you a good start. Whether you hang it in the coop, sprinkle in the dust bath, or add it to their feed, they're all going to be great options for keeping those chickens happy and healthy.
Yep. All right. Bravo. Well done on that.
Wow. Thanks.
That's a pretty good list, I think.
If you're clapping, thank you as well.
Yeah.
You can let us know by clicking that like button because we can't hear you clapping.
But if we left out one of your favorites, then sing its praises in the comments below. I've actually been watching TikToks with the comedian that goes around with the microphone and has everyone sing stuff. Pretty funny stuff. So if you want to sing us something, make a video, awesome.
We're not going to sing.
I don't know. You probably should. We won't even.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I do. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You can hang out with the coolest 3 guys on the internet. Right?
That's right.
Till next time.
Happy hobby farming.